I saw the note before I saw my coffee. That pissed me off. It was sitting right in the middle of the counter, like a damn trophy, folded once, clean and deliberate, weighed down with her old city badge, the one she used to flash at Chamber of Commerce meetings like it meant something. The laminate was scratched to hell, but she'd kept it all these years, and now it was holding down this cheap little note, written in her favorite blue pen like that made it softer. Don't try to find me. I need space. No date, no name, just that. And the badge. I stood there for a second, staring at it like it might change if I blinked. It didn't. My name's Travis Rhodes. I'm 42. I live in Greer, South Carolina, and apparently my wife of 15 years decided a post-it and a prop was enough to end things. Quick note. Before we start, how's your day going and where are you joining from? I didn't crumble, I didn't scream, I just muttered, typical, and flicked the badge across the counter like a poker chip. It clattered against the tile backsplash and dropped behind the toaster. I didn't bother fishing it out. The kitchen still smelled like her, that over-sweet vanilla lotion and some expensive citrus candles she lit every morning. The walls were covered in framed photos, ski trips we argued through, a wine tour she planned and I paid for, our wedding day in Charleston, where I looked like a hostage in a rented tux. 15 years. You'd think that'd earn you more than a scribble in a disappearing act. But no. Candace always thrived on spectacle. Drama was her oxygen. And this was the laziest final act she'd ever pulled. I opened the fridge, empty, except for almond milk, a shriveled lemon, and a jar of olives. She didn't even clean it out, just took what she wanted and vanished. I let myself feel it, the insult of it, the disrespect. But it didn't last long. Something colder took its place, clearer. I'd call it cold clarity. She thought I'd chase her, fall apart. Maybe cry into my old team hoodie and beg her to come back. Nah. I grabbed the coffee mug she always hated, chipped with the high school mascot faded from 100 dishwasher runs, and poured myself a cup. Then I grabbed my keys, let her have her space. I had a call to make. I didn't even make it to the truck before dialing Colby. He picked up on the second ring with that same cocky energy he used to bring into the locker room. Rhodes, what's up, man? You sound like you just got off a bad call. Worse, I said. Candace left. Found a note on the counter this morning. Said she needs space. There was a pause. Then, you serious? I snapped a picture of the note and texted it over. Dead serious? Check your messages. Hold up. I heard the ding on his end. No date, just the badge and a scribble. Damn, she really went for the budget version of dramatic. Not even a kiss my ass, just walked. He let out a low whistle. All right, so are we crying or lawyering up? Lawyering up, I said. I'm done chasing ghosts. Colby didn't waste a second. Then let's move. You want everything but the dog, right? She didn't even take the dog, just bailed. Even better. I pulled out of the driveway and headed straight for the high school parking lot. Not because I had work, but because it was the only place with strong enough cell service where I wouldn't run into half the town. Colby was already rattling off questions. You got access to the bank accounts? Any weird charges lately? Funny you ask. I logged into our joint account while he talked. My eyes narrowed. 400 at a boutique in Asheville, gas station 3 towns over, and a $500 hotel deposit from last night. Start a list. We'll need that for court. I didn't answer. I was already calling the bank. Greenville First Federal, this is Marcia. Yeah, hi. I need to report suspicious activity on a joint account. I'd like to freeze all access until it's reviewed. She went through the usual security checks. I passed with flying colors. Candace set up the account, but I ran it. Figures. Would you like to block all card use temporarily as well? Marcia asked. Yes, ma'am. Everything. Lock it all down. Understood. This will go into effect immediately. I hung up and called Colby back. It's done. Account's frozen. She won't even be able to buy a pack of gum. You move fast, he said. Had to. She thinks I'm standing still. He chuckled. Good. Because this kind of divorce, it's a sprint, not a marathon. I leaned back in the driver's seat, staring out at the empty football field. She thought I'd fall apart. But I've been pulling away for months, man. She didn't notice. Too busy playing councilwoman. You got any private accounts? I smirked. Yeah, one she doesn't know about. Been skimming from summer camps and boosters since 17. Small checks, little bonuses, tucked it into a separate savings under my dad's name. How much? Just under 18 grand. Roads, that's beautiful. You kept receipts? Every damn one. Then she's screwed. I sat there for a minute, thinking about Candace at some boutique, swiping the joint card, grinning like she'd won something. Then I pictured her checking out of that hotel and hitting a decline message, watching her face go from smug to stunned. She always liked control, thought she had the upper hand, but she played this like I'd stay stupid and soft. Not today. Colby texted me a link to the initial divorce intake form. Start here, he said. I'll fast-track the filing once you get that done. Will do. You want the note as evidence? Oh, absolutely. That's abandonment on paper. Classic judge bait. I filled out the form on my phone right there in the parking lot. Click submit. Then I reached into the glove box and pulled out the little ledger I'd kept all those years. The one with every booster tip and off-the-books payment Candace always rolled her eyes at. I snapped a picture of the balance and texted it to Colby. Caption, war chest loaded. I put the truck in gear, let her find out the hard way. I pulled back into the driveway around lunchtime and shut the truck off, but didn't get out right away. Just sat there, watching the front door like it might open on its own. It didn't. Inside, the air felt stale, like the house had been holding its breath since she left. First thing I noticed was the coat rack. Her beige trench coat was gone, the one she wore like armor when she marched into meetings. Gone, along with every damn blazer from the hall closet. But the umbrella I gave her on our first anniversary, still there, folded, untouched. I started walking room to room, not because I was looking for her, but because I wanted to know what she thought mattered. The jewelry box was empty, no surprise. Same with the top drawer of her nightstand. Passport, prescription creams, travel toothbrush. But the wedding album, still on the shelf, right where I left it last year after dusting. She didn't even take the clogs she always used for gardening, still muddy by the back door. But the red heels she wore to that gala in Atlanta, gone. She left behind the Sunday afternoons and stole the stage lights. I opened the kitchen pantry. Her herbal tea collection, vanished. My instant coffee and dented old thermos, untouched. Then I saw it, front and center on the counter, that standing mixer. $800 and a full week of arguing. It's an investment, she said. I'll use it all the time. She used it twice. It was still clean, still plugged in, like it might mean something now. It didn't. That's when it hit me. She took value, not memory. She packed things that could be sold, worn, or posted. Left behind anything with weight. She didn't just walk, she made a surgical exit. And yet, she thought I'd fall apart. Thought I'd crawl after her, grovel, blame myself. But standing there in the middle of that kitchen, ours, hers, mine, I felt lighter than I had in years. The silence wasn't lonely. It was clean. I walked into the spare bedroom we never finished. Still had the paint swatches on the wall from last summer. One blue, one gray. We argued for 3 weekends straight about it. I picked neither. That room stayed empty on purpose. We'd been stuck in neutral for years. I just didn't realize how done I was until she handed me the keys. Back in the kitchen, I grabbed my calendar off the fridge, pulled out a pen, and scratched out the entire next week. No team practices, no weight room, no meetings. I called the assistant coach and told him I was taking time off. Family emergency, I said. Technically true. Then I packed a duffel bag, hoodies, jeans, boots, and grabbed a couple old hunting novels off the shelf. No laptop, no charger. I knew exactly where I was going. There's a little cabin about 2 hours north, tucked between the hills and just far enough from a cell tower to be blessedly useless. My dad used to take me there after rough seasons. I left the standing mixer on the counter, left the badge behind the toaster, locked the front door. She wanted space, she'd get it, and I'd take mine in acres. The drive up took just under 2 hours, mostly quiet except for the hum of the tires and the occasional deep breath I didn't realize I needed. I parked under a cluster of pines, kicked the door shut with my boot, and didn't look back. The cabin was old, nothing fancy. One room, wood stove, stiff bed. A sagging screen door that slapped if you didn't hold it. It hadn't changed since I was 17. Neither had the woods, thick, still, like they swallowed sound whole. No signal, no service, just trees and wind and whatever the hell was rattling around in my chest. The first night, I didn't sleep much. Not because I was upset. I wasn't. I just wasn't used to silence anymore. No fridge humming, no heels on tile, no Candace pacing while talking on speaker, like every conversation was a campaign rally. The second day, I split wood, took a long hike, and cooked beans over the fire like some wannabe mountain man. Didn't miss the house, didn't miss the town, sure as hell didn't miss her. That morning, I'd finally stopped rehearsing all the things I should have said years ago. The fights we never finished. The 1,000 compromises I swallowed just to keep her from spiraling. I let it all go. By the third morning, I woke up feeling steady. I let the coffee boil too long and sat out on the porch wrapped in a flannel, staring at nothing in particular. The trees didn't care about who left who. The birds didn't ask for statements. For once, I didn't feel like someone's husband or coach or fixer. I just felt like a man drinking his coffee, and that was enough. After breakfast, I gave in and powered up my phone. It took a minute to load. Then the texts started pouring in. 17. All from Candace. The first one hit fast, sharp. So this is how you're handling it, freezing the accounts, real mature, Travis. The next 3 were more of the same. Jabs, sarcasm, guilt tripping. I needed space, not sabotage. I thought you were better than this. You're acting like a child. I kept scrolling. By message 8, her tone cracked. Where are you? Why won't you answer? Are you even okay? Then came the shift. Look, maybe we both overreacted. We need to talk, face to face. Can we meet somewhere? And finally, the last one, time-stamped late last night. The card didn't work. Front desk made me pay cash. You had no right. I set the phone down on the armrest and let out a slow laugh. Not bitter, not cruel, just clear. She didn't miss me. She missed access to the money, the lifestyle, the security blanket I'd become while she chased image and applause. All that talk about space. What she really wanted was a holding pattern, a way to run without losing the credit line. Well, that credit line just expired. I stood up, stretched, and dumped the rest of the coffee into the dirt. My hands didn't shake. My jaw wasn't clenched. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was 2 steps behind her moods or chasing peace like it owed me rent. I packed up slow, no rush, cleaned up the pans, left a couple logs stacked by the stove for the next trip. Locked the cabin. The phone buzzed again. One more message. Didn't even look at it. Just slid the phone in my pocket, climbed into the truck, and drove back toward town, windows down, radio off. I wasn't running anymore. I was driving the damn thing now. The sun was barely up when I pulled into Colby's office lot that Monday morning. His building was tucked behind a dentist and some boutique cupcake place that charged $6 for a frosted muffin. I'd barely turned off the ignition before I saw her. Candace. Sitting on the curb in front of the main entrance, clutching her phone with both hands like it was a lifeline. No makeup, hair in a knot that had seen better days. Her heels were gone. She had on those ugly house shoes she used to wear when she'd get migraines. I didn't say anything, just grabbed the envelope from the passenger seat and stepped out. She stood up fast, eyes wide. Travis, wait, please. I shut the truck door behind me. Can we just talk? Her voice cracked on the last word. I've been trying to reach you. I kept walking. She stepped into my path, almost tripped over herself. Travis, please just... Look, I messed up, okay? I panicked. I needed time to think, and everything just got out of hand. I didn't mean for it to go like this. I stopped maybe 3 feet from her, pulled the folded note out of the envelope, the same one from the counter, held it up between us like a receipt. Don't try to find me. I need space, I read, calm as ever. Then I tucked it back in and shrugged. I'm just following instructions. Her eyes welled up. That's not fair. You knew what I meant? No, I said. I knew exactly what you wrote. She looked like she wanted to collapse. Her shoulders sagged, lips trembling. She grabbed at my sleeve. I'm sorry, she said, voice low now. I didn't expect you to shut me out like this. I thought, We could fix it. You always fix things. That hit different, not in a painful way, just clarifying. She was right. I had been the fixer, for too damn long. You left, I said. You packed your fancy shoes, your pearls, your ego, and you left. Now the cards don't swipe, and suddenly I matter again? No, she whispered. It's not like that. Yes, it is. Tears finally spilled, not the kind from heartbreak, the kind from panic. I didn't think you'd go through with it, she said, choking up. I figured, I don't know, that you'd be hurt, but not this cold. I laughed once, short, sharp. That's the problem. You always thought I'd be predictable. She stepped back like she'd been slapped. Travis, I'm begging you. I know I messed up, but this can't be the end. It is. Her hands dropped to her sides. She looked like a broken campaign poster. All the polish peeled off. I lost myself somewhere along the way, she said, almost to herself. And you were always steady. I didn't know what to do with that. You used it, I said. That's what you did. I stepped around her. She tried one more time, reaching for my arm. Can't we just hit reset? Please. I'll go to counseling. I turned back just long enough to look her in the eyes. You had 15 years of chances. You cashed them in for Cody and hotel deposits. That shut her up. I didn't give her a dramatic goodbye. Didn't give her closure. That was always her thing. Needing a final word. Needing tears in the frame. Not this time. I pushed through the front door to Colby's office without another glance. She didn't follow. I didn't wait. The receptionist gave me a look like she'd heard the whole thing. She probably had. I nodded once. Didn't explain a damn thing. Colby walked out holding a folder, smirking. You ready? More than? We walked into his office, side by side. And just like that, I flipped the script. She didn't know who she was dealing with anymore. And that scared her a hell of a lot more than being left alone. Colby slid the signed paperwork across the desk and grinned. You want me to overnight this, or hand-deliver it and really ruin her week? I tapped the envelope once, stood up, and said, Let her get served cold. We're past warm mornings. We shook hands, no fanfare, just grit. I left his office, drove home, and cracked open a beer before I even got my shoes off. Phone buzzed halfway through the first quarter of the Panthers game. Unknown number, voicemail. I let it roll. 15 minutes later, I checked it while grabbing another drink from the fridge. The message started with fake politeness and went downhill from there. Hey Travis, it's Cody. I figured it was time we chatted man to man. Listen, I know things are tense, but dragging Candace through court isn't helping anybody. Let's just be mature about this, all right? Handle it outside the legal drama. You've had your moment. Time to move on. I hit replay. Then again. His voice oozed that slick little boy confidence, like he thought he was being reasonable, like this was a negotiation. I hit forward and sent it straight to Colby with the message, legal gold. 10 minutes later, Colby texted back, Oh, hell yes. This clown just stepped on a rake. Recorded threats and third-party pressure. Judges love that. I didn't even respond, just sat back, let the defense build itself. Next afternoon, right around 4, I heard a knock on the front door. I looked through the glass. There they were, Candace and Cody. She had on oversized sunglasses and some sad gray sweater that swallowed her whole. He looked like a substitute math teacher. Khakis, a tight button-up, and a weak chin trying to hold authority. I opened the door halfway. Didn't invite them in. Candace started off fake sweet. We just came to grab a few of my personal things. Some shoes, my books, nothing major. Cody chimed in. We figured we'd be civil, avoid any unnecessary tension. I looked between them, then leaned on the doorframe. You want something? Talk to your lawyer. Cody smirked like he thought I was bluffing. Come on, man. Let's not make this messy. She just needs a couple boxes. We won't be long. I stepped out just enough to close the gap. You think walking up here with your arm hair slicked down and your voice soft is gonna change something? You're the dude she cheated with. That means you don't talk to me. Ever. His mouth opened. Nothing came out. Candace pulled off her glasses, eyes already red. Please, Travis, I just want my stuff. Cool, I said. Then have your attorney coordinate a pickup. That's how adults do it, right? She blinked. The tears came fast after that. Cody scoffed. Wow, you're really dragging this out for attention, huh? I looked him square in the face. You left a voicemail, jackass. If anyone's dragging this out, it's the guy trying to lawyer by phone call. That shut him up. I stepped back, pushed the door closed. Candace said my name once. Soft. Like that was supposed to crack me. It didn't. I locked the door, went straight to the couch. Game was still on, grabbed another beer, let them stand out there in their little pile of regret and desperation. I turned up the volume and watched the fourth quarter in peace. By halftime, they were gone. Porch was empty, street quiet, no crying, no arguing, just two silhouettes shrinking in the rearview mirror of their own bad choices. I let the rest of the game play out in the background while I tossed a frozen pizza in the oven. Didn't care about the score. What I did care about was sitting in the hall closet under an old stack of booster fundraisers. A dusty Navy laptop I hadn't touched in 2 years. Candace's campaign machine, as she used to call it. She made a big show about keeping it locked down, claimed it had confidential donor stuff and civic planning emails. Reality was, it lived next to a sewing kit and half a candle. I powered it on. Fan kicked up like a jet engine. The screen flickered once, then loaded straight to her desktop. No password. I blinked, smirked. Rookie move. I clicked open the browser. First tab was her Gmail. Still logged in. Inbox packed. I started scanning for names, but didn't have to go far. The search bar still had Cody in it, like she'd been checking it every morning. I clicked it. Hundreds of messages popped up. Not campaign logistics, not civic schedules, just Cody. Subject lines like, "Last night was perfect," and "Bring the black dress." I opened one from 3 months ago, a forwarded dinner reservation for a place in Asheville. Attached was a receipt for lingerie she had shipped to his apartment. The same weekend she told me she was at a leadership retreat. Another one, Cody. "When are you going to leave him already?" Candace. "Soon. I'm lining things up." I kept going. Screenshots, calendar invites, confirmations. Venmo payments labeled for the suite. And then I found it, dated the night before she left. Cody. "Just leave the note and badge like we planned. Clean break. Let him chase you." Candace. "He won't chase. He'll sulk and stall. I'll play the victim later." I leaned back and exhaled through my nose. No anger, no sadness, just clarity. This wasn't impulsive. This was plotted. She built the exit like a campaign stunt. I started screenshotting everything, folded them by subject. Hotel receipts, romantic emails, gifts, her own damn words. I opened a new email, attached the folder, and sent it straight to Colby. Subject line, "Slam dunk." 2 minutes later, my phone buzzed. Colby. "Holy hell, Rhodes. She cooked her own goose. This is gold-plated adultery. Judges will eat this up." Me. "Yeah, thought you'd like it." I closed the laptop. Didn't bother shutting it down. Let it wheeze and blink on the kitchen counter. I looked around the room. The same house she thought I'd break down in. The one she tried to use as leverage. The one I still had the deed to. I didn't feel like a victim. I didn't feel like a husband. I felt like a surgeon mid-op. Steady hands, clear target. And the more I found, the colder I got. Not bitter, not even mad. Just done. I cracked another beer and watched the pizza burn a little around the edges. Didn't bother setting a timer. Let the heat do its job. 2 days later, I stopped by the high school to drop off some equipment from summer camp. Wasn't planning to stick around, but as soon as I walked through the back hallway, I heard someone call my name. "Coach Rhodes!" I turned. Mr. Lindell, history teacher, wore corduroy every day of his life. Always had a coffee mug in hand that said, "I'm silently correcting your grammar." He jogged over, eyes wide. "Man, I was hoping I'd see you." I raised an eyebrow. "Everything all right?" "Oh, yeah, I just figured you heard by now." "Heard what?" He leaned in like we were passing secrets behind the bleachers. "Cody got canned. Mayor's office let him go yesterday." That woke me up. "Fired? Over what?" Lindell grinned like a kid who just broke into the teacher's lounge. Multiple complaints, interns, staffers, couple of contractors, all women. Guess he couldn't keep it professional. Your ex was just the tip of the iceberg. I let out a breath. Not shock, more like confirmation. He kept going. Candace got dragged into it. Emails leaked. People saw the receipts. She tried to play it cool, but it's all anyone's talking about at council meetings now. That part hit different. For years, Candace and Cody had run around town like they owned it, smiling too wide, shaking hands too long, always half a step ahead of gossip. And now, she was the gossip. Anyway, Lindell said, stepping back, I just wanted to say, folks are on your side. You handled all this with class. Just thought you should know. I nodded. Appreciate that. We parted ways, but I wasn't thinking about the compliment. I was thinking about her. The voicemails had started coming in the night before. I hadn't opened them yet, but I saw the transcripts previewed on my phone. I just need a little help while I figure things out. It's temporary, Travis. I'm not asking for much. Can we just talk? Please. I'm not okay. I didn't respond, just archived each one as it came. That evening I stopped at the grocery store, and even the cashier gave me a little nod like she knew, like I'd survived something. Out in the parking lot, I ran into Carla Martin, council volunteer, big into church groups and holiday parades. She paused as I walked past. Travis, honey, we've been praying for you. What she did, Lord have mercy. I gave her a tight smile. Thanks, Carla. I'm good. She leaned in. If there's anything you need, meals, help with the house, anything at all, you let us know. That kind of offer would have felt like pity a month ago. Now, it just felt honest. Back at home, I cracked a beer and sat out on the back porch, legs kicked up on the railing, the same porch she used to complain about. Too plain, not enough space for hosting. It was quiet now, and clean. No drama buzzing around, no fake smiles or rehearsed apologies. Just me, a cold drink, and a voicemail notification I didn't care to open. She'd chased freedom like it was a prize, and now it was chewing her up. Meanwhile, I was finally breathing easy. I tapped delete all on the voicemails, set the phone face down on the table, and watched the sky go dark without a single regret. The courtroom was colder than I expected. Not in temperature, just in vibe. Bright lights, dead silence, everyone pretending not to look at anyone else. The kind of place where truth shows up late but always gets the final word. Colby sat beside me, calm as hell. 3 neat folders in front of him, color-coded and clipped, like we were about to pitch a business plan instead of carve up a marriage. Candace walked in 5 minutes late. She didn't look put together. Pale foundation too dark for her face. Hair thrown back in a bun like she got ready in the car. The suit didn't fit right. Too loose in the shoulders, too long at the sleeves, like it belonged to someone else. She didn't look at me, just slid into her chair next to some baby-faced lawyer who looked like he'd lost sleep over this case. His suit was off the rack, tie askew, and his legal pad was blank. Colby leaned toward me. That's your competition? I didn't respond, just stared forward as the bailiff called us to stand. The judge was an older woman, gray hair, wire-frame glasses, and the expression of someone who'd seen every dirty trick in the book. She gave Candace and her lawyer a glance that lasted maybe 2 seconds too long. Then she nodded at Colby. Mr. Gaines, proceed. He stood, smooth as always. Your Honor, we'll be presenting 3 categories of evidence today: financial misconduct, abandonment of marital responsibilities, and proof of an extramarital relationship predating the separation. He opened folder 1. Dropped the first page onto the evidence table with the kind of confidence that only comes from receipts. In this file, you'll see hotel receipts, Venmo payments, emails, and text messages detailing a months-long affair between Mrs. Rhodes and a man employed directly under her. Inappropriate conduct, conflict of interest, and use of marital assets to fund that relationship. He didn't raise his voice, didn't gesture wildly. He just laid it out, page by page, like a surgeon calling out tools mid-operation. Candace didn't interrupt. Her lawyer looked like he wanted to crawl into the floor. Folder 2. The note she left me. He passed it to the judge like a subpoena sealed in shame. Colby nodded once. Voluntary abandonment. No attempt to reconcile. No legal filing prior to leaving the marital home. The judge raised her eyebrows, but said nothing. Folder 3. Our financial breakdown. My private savings. Her boutique spending. The joint account history, complete with the flagged transaction at the inn. Colby sat down like he'd just cleared a dinner plate. Candace's lawyer stood, fumbled a few lines about emotional confusion and contextual misunderstandings. Tried to claim the evidence was incomplete. The judge held up one of the emails. This was sent from Mrs. Rhodes's personal email, correct? Yes, Your Honor, the young guy stammered. And she signed it? Yes, ma'am. That's not incomplete. That's direct. He sank back into his chair without another word. Final statements came fast. Colby gave a short one, just enough to remind the court Candace had every opportunity to handle things like an adult. She chose secrets and staged exits instead. 10 minutes later, it was done. The judge ruled in our favor. I kept the house, the car, the retirement accounts. She walked away with her personal belongings, some of her jewelry, and one small savings account that barely covered her legal fees. Candace stood slowly, still didn't look at me. She signed the paperwork with her hands shaking, then gripped the table like it might float away. I waited until it was official, until the clerk stamped everything and handed copies to both attorneys. Then I stood, didn't say a word, didn't wait for hers. Walked right past her, slow and steady. She flinched, just barely. She couldn't even meet my eyes. I didn't give her the satisfaction of a final look. I walked out of that courtroom like it was the last room in a burning house. And I never looked back. I got home from practice a little after 6. The sun was dipping low behind the pine trees out back, casting long shadows across the new coat of charcoal gray paint I'd rolled on the house myself. Front porch had new furniture, nothing fancy, just sturdy and mine. Inside, the place didn't look anything like it used to. I'd moved the couch against the east wall, got rid of the rug she insisted on, and replaced the glass coffee table with a solid wood one that didn't make me feel like I was living inside a catalog. It smelled like lemon cleaner and charcoal from the grill, not her perfume or overpriced candles. I grilled a steak, threw on some football highlights, and cracked open a beer. Simple night, just how I liked it. Mid-bite, my phone buzzed with a notification. Your Hulu password has been changed. I stared at it for a second, fork still in hand. She was still on my damn streaming plan. I hadn't even thought about it. Hadn't logged into Hulu in weeks. She must have just now realized I'd changed everything else. Locks, car title, even the damn thermostat login, but forgot the one thing she probably used every night to escape her reality. I opened the app, scrolled to profiles. Sure enough, there she was. Candace, do not delete. That made me laugh, out loud, like a sharp bark in the middle of my living room. She always tried to control the exit, even from a streaming service. I clicked her profile, hit remove, confirmed it, gone. No drama, no tears, no warning. Just one last door closing. I leaned back on the couch and let the silence stretch. I wasn't angry, I wasn't proud, I wasn't even curious about what she was watching or where she was now. I didn't hate her, I didn't even think about her. And that's what real freedom feels like.